Scott, Kevin, thank you so much for talking with us before you head back to Rochester here. A lot of people very excited to see you. What's interesting, when I was reading about the group, you've been so prolific in the studio while also going on tour. Which, I'll ask each of you in turn, which you like better, going in the studio and recording or going live? And Scott, we'll start with you.
Oh my gosh. I honestly love, I know this is a boring answer, but I love both so much. And it's like, it's always after you tour for a whole year, you're like so ready to be in the studio, just being creative and having fun in that way. And then after you're like wrapping an album or we're finishing a project, we're just like so ready to go perform it on tour. So it truly is a cycle.
Yeah. Kevin, how about for you?
I think he said it exactly perfectly. That's exactly how I feel. It's a beautiful cycle when you can, produce this music in the studio and you're so excited to be able to perform it on stage for all of your fans. And then once you've performed all this music and you've seen so much of the world and the cities of our country, you feel so excited to go back into the studio and make more music. So it's a beautiful cycle that I think is necessary for the artist.
And Kevin, while I have you, the one thing that I took away watching the cello boxing video that kind of launched you, if you will, I didn't realize humans could do that.
I didn't know either, so I tried it.
That surprised me. Looking back, what inspired you to put those two talents together?
You know, it's funny. It was actually a Chinese teacher in Beijing. When I was living in Beijing, I would talk about cello playing and I'd beatbox in class a lot. And my Chinese teacher asked me, and I'm going to say it in Chinese, 你有没有想过把它大提琴和表演口技融合在一起? Which in Chinese means, have you ever thought about taking cello and beatboxing and putting it together? And I hadn't. It seemed like the craziest combination. And I think I had internal thoughts that there might be judgment from, the classical community that I'm tarnishing classical music with this beatboxing element. But at some point I got to this place where I said, you know what? Why not? They're both inherently me. And I just started to work on it that summer of my sophomore year. And it just continued to develop into the piece that the band saw online. And it's been such an amazing part of what I do. I'm so thankful that I'm still continuing to grow in it, even now.
And we're very thankful that you did evolve music like that, because that really, a lot of evolution of music is combining two different genres or two different methods. So, and I think the PTX, if you will, has kind of done that with a cappella in a way, Scott. And so if you could kind of talk about how you approach what has been, I guess, kind of a stage genre of music for many generations, and now it's just blossoming.
Oh my gosh, it was a bunch of planets lining up that really worked out for us. I mean, with Glee blowing up in like 2008 and 2009, and then the show The Sing Off coming about, it was like a cappella was starting to have a moment again, and then the Pitch Perfect movies, and it was just all the planets aligned, and we were in the right place at the right time. And also, I think whenever we're arranging something, our like first priority at the beginning of every arrangement session is like, how are we going to flip this song on its head? Like, how are we going to make this so different? Or how is there going to be an element of this song or arrangement that is super memorable and just like addicting to the ears? And so we always go in just with creativity first.
And it's interesting because Scott, you really, and Kevin too, the whole band, but you really came on board not just with the wave cresting with the performances that were out there, but also the technology with YouTube. And I think that catchiness that YouTube kind of demands and the audience kind of demands, you played right into.
Oh yeah, that was another one of the planets that aligned, was the YouTube thing. I'll let you talk about it, Kevin, though.
No. I mean, I fully agree. I mean, the coolest thing that we had at our disposal that I think people might not have had in the past for any type of artist is YouTube, and being able to speak directly to your fans. And I think YouTube for us and what we do with a cappella, you have to see it done. And YouTube is an audio visual form, right? You get to see the trio doing these crazy harmonies together. You get to hear the bass singer and the beatboxer do these crazy kind of rhythm and bass combinations that really makes an experience. And I think, we really try to do it in a way where people say, I have to see this live, so they could directly connect with us. And that talent could translate on the stage from the YouTube video. So it's cool. Last thing I'll say, it's really cool to see these, you see these numbers, 10 million, 12 million, or you see billions of views, but all of that attaches to a person who's been affected and who's been touched by our music, which I think is one of the reasons we're super excited to come and perform. Just we want to personalize those numbers into real human connections.
Yeah, and I think what's impressive about the band is you provide that kind of, wow, I can't believe they did that factor on YouTube, and then you're able to translate it to the stage, which is no easy feat. And I think part of the reason that is, Scott, I'll direct this to you, is you're all students of music, education, hence pentatonic scale, and it speaks to the amount of time you spent learning about music. And I've listened to a couple artists recently almost poo-poo that, saying, well, I just kind of like learned as I went and I didn't do any formal training, and they almost suggested that that can be limiting, and that has not been my experience. I'd love to get your take on that, Scott.
I think both can be a really, really valuable thing. I think being educated in music gives you the tools you need to really just gives you a toolbox. You can make any music you want because you have the skills and knowledge to do so. But I also think, like, if you get too wrapped up in the technicalities of music, you can lose that instinctual creativity that comes with just like trusting your gut and not overanalyzing. I think like all forms of making art should essentially come from instinct more so than like an analytical viewpoint. And so, but sometimes you can't make something as good as you want to if you don't have the knowledge to do so. So it's a balance of both.
Yeah, I think that speaks a lot to your creativity, that you haven't lost that kind of instinctual element, but recognizing you have the tools to be like, oh, that I can do that. Why Christmas songs have really been one of your fortes as a band. How did it evolve into that?
Oh, that's a good question. So, we did some Christmas songs on the Sing Off. There was a Christmas special that we were part of. And then we continued to do Christmas songs just for fun. And I don't think we realized the spark that was there until probably 2013, when we had a song, Little Drummer Boy, that went viral on YouTube, and independently it was on the top 10 of iTunes. And that's when we started to say, oh, people are really connecting with this music. And I guess, you think about the choral tradition during Christmas time, you think about the choral tradition at church, and people are thinking kind of in the spiritual, from a spiritual mindset during that time of year. And so we just kind of leaned into it. And honestly, we love Christmas music. We're very joyous people. Like we have our bad days like everybody, but for some reason, Christmas just brings out what is inherently, I think, true about this band. We are a band about harmony. We're a band about wanting to bring people together, and Christmas is that kind of time of the year. So the pairing of our music and Christmas times just seems to be having this perfect synergy.
I love that, a band about harmony. So what can people expect if they come to CMAC to watch you guys?
Oh my gosh, the show is so fun. This is one of our best set lists ever. It is stacked full of everything that you like a fan would want to hear from us. And then there's all sorts of new stuff. There's some stuff we did on Masked Singer. It is just such a good time. And then there is like a really cool audience interaction moment. I don't want to give too much away, but it is like a perfect event for a family. And we had so much fun on last year's summer tour. It was just one of the best experiences of our career. And I think that we really honed in on the perfect show. And I just can't wait for everyone to see it this year.
No instruments?
Yeah, and I'd also...
Yeah, sorry, please, Kevin.
Oh, well, all I would say is, well, first of all, yes. Oh, we play around sometimes with instruments in the show, but it's going to be primarily vocal.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm excited about is, if you've never heard of Pentatonix before, the thing that I'm excited for is that you're going to hear songs that you know. It's basically a hit list of your favorite songs, regardless if you know the band or not. And so if you love the songs, I think you'll enjoy the concert.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for the time and for, again, choosing Rochester. A lot of people around here very excited to see you at CMAC later this summer.
Oh my gosh, we can't wait. We can't come back to Rochester.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.